Hey everybody, welcome to the Blogging Your Passion Show. I'm your host, Jonathan Milligan, and today's topic is all about how to finally nail down your target audience. So if you're listening to this, you're watching us, maybe for some of you, you're watching it on Blab. We're actually doing something new. I'm actually broadcasting this episode live on Blab, on Facebook Live across 2 fan pages and a couple of Facebook groups that I have, and over on Periscope. And so I'm going to take this recording that we're doing today, and I'm actually going to take it, put it on iTunes for a podcast, and then I'm also going to take the video from this and put it over on YouTube on the Blogging Your Passion YouTube channel as a video show. Blogging Your Passion video show. And so that is what we're doing here today. So what we're going to talk about today is how to finally nail down your target audience. You know, if you're listening to this, you are an online entrepreneur, maybe you have a podcast, or maybe you're blogging, maybe you have a video show over on YouTube. You know, whatever it is that you're using, whatever tool you're using on the online web, you have to be able to do a couple of things to be successful. You ready? 3 things. Number 1, know who your audience actually is. And that's what we're going to talk about today. Number 2, get them on an email list. And number 3, help meet their needs through your products and services. That is the essential to being successful at this. And we have a mission here at Blogging Your Passion. And the mission is that we want to help 1,000 content creators go full-time within the next 5 years. It's a big mission, but it includes you. If you're watching this right now or you're listening to it right now, this includes you. And that's what I'm passionate about. And that's what I want to accomplish over the next few years. And it starts by using a tool that I've been using now for a while. And I want to walk you through this. It's the Ideal Customer Profile. So here's how you get access to this. You can get access to this in 2 ways. First, you can text the number 44222 and the word profile. So again, text the word profile to 44222 and I'll send you this 1-page worksheet on identifying your target audience. You can also, if you're on close to the World Wide Web and the internet, you can also get access to this by going to bloggingyourpassion.com/profile. Again, bloggingyourpassion.com/profile. All right, so before I teach you this, and I'm actually going to use one of my own examples that I've put together. Before I teach you this, I want to tell you why you need this. So why do you need to actually identify who your ideal customer profile is? Well, here's a couple of reasons. Number 1 is you'll actually find that you will be able to be more passionate about your message because it becomes real. Like the moment I started doing this, it became very real for me. I took this thing that's just like online communication, the internet, while we feel very connected, we still feel very distant. It's a weird thing. But when you make your message, when you take that thing you're passionate about, and you actually identify a real person, at least identify them on paper, and I'm going to talk to you about how to do that in just a second, it becomes real to you. So your communication, the passion behind your communication goes to a whole nother level. Number 2 is you identify where your audience is hanging out. People always tell me all the time, Jonathan, I don't have traffic. I need more traffic to my blog. I don't know how to get people to take notice to what I'm doing on my blog or on my podcast. Well, my answer has always been, and I've done this over 3 different blogs, to go to where my audience is already hanging out. Now, you can do that through paid advertisement. You can do that through referrals. You can do that through just going to where they're hanging out and adding value. That's a whole nother discussion on another show where we're going to talk about how to do that. But once you identify this, it's going to really help you to know where your audience is hanging out. And number 3, it's going to make you more money. Now you say, Jonathan, how is it going to make me more money to just fill out and write down some information? Here's why. Because now that you know who your audience is, you've identified their goals, their passions, and their struggles. You can take that information and you can plug it into your sales pages, to the way that you talk on webinars, to sales videos, in your communication in general, your email marketing, because you become more acquainted. You've walked a mile in their shoes. And now you're able to go to the next level in your business. So there's two columns to this. There is a left side column and a right side column. And it's basically two questions. And when you get this worksheet, it's going to make more sense for you. Okay? So the left side column is a question I have at the top. It's called, who are they? This is the demographic information that you need to record. On the right side column, we have, what do they want? This is the psychographic information that's going to help you. Being able to further understand, what are their goals? What are their fears? What are their passions? What are their struggles? What's going on with their mindset? What values do they have? And by understanding this information, your communication becomes more powerful. All right. So I like to also have fun with the names so that I can remember them. So right now I have 4 different ideal customer profiles. It's because my business, of course, has gotten larger and I've created a couple of different brands. But today I'm going to give you this profile and I've named it Ambitious Andy. Ambitious Andy. So this is Ambitious Andy, okay? On the left side column, who are they? The top box. He's a 46-year-old male. He's married. He has 3 kids, 15, 12, and 9. He lives in Chicago. He's a senior sales professional, and his income at his job, his salary is around $75,000 a year, and he has a college degree. So I've just identified a demographic. Now, in the bottom box on the left side is what I've labeled favorites. And here's what those include. The books and magazines that this type of person reads, the blogs, the podcasts, the websites that they visit, the events, the conferences, the social media channels that they most use, the software, the apps that they like to use, Google search terms. What do they search when they go on Google? And then a spot for others. Now, here's why this is so powerful. And first of all, if you have a little bit of an audience, if it's 10 people on an email list, 50, 100, 500, 1,000, whatever it is, if you have an email list, ask them these questions. If you have people on a Facebook fan page, on Facebook group, on Twitter, ask them these, what are your favorite books? What are your favorite blogs? What events do you go to? What gurus or experts do you follow? What is your favorite social media channel? And by doing this, here's why this is so powerful, okay? When you get to the point where you want to do some Facebook advertising, you can get super specific on going to where your audience is hanging out. You see, I've surveyed my audience, and I know that when it comes to blogs, the ones that they read the most, Michael Hyatt, Jeff Goins, Seth Godin, like those are the main ones besides Entrepreneur. So those can be the Facebook pages that I target when I'm doing a Facebook ad. So I'm going to where my audience is already hanging out. Does that make sense? So that's the left side column, all about the demographic information. Now here's what I get most excited about. The right side column. What do they want? My good friend Dennis McEntee taught me this a couple years ago, and this was a game changer for me. He said, Jonathan, everybody has a GPS. He calls it a people GPS. Everybody. And whenever he's meeting with people, whether it's a new client, whether it's somebody he's met for the first time, and he strikes up a conversation, he uses this people GPS. Here's what it is. It's an acronym. The letter G stands for goals. What are their goals? What are their financial goals, their lifestyle goals, their legacy goals? So what is a person's goals? Number 2, the letter P stands for passions. What are they passionate about? What are the values that they have? What are the life beliefs? What's the world view, the way that they see the world, or the way that they wish the world could be? Understanding their passions is how you connect with them and inspire them. And then finally, the letter S is struggles. What are their pain points? What are their fears? What keeps them awake at night? What are their current struggles, their current challenges? Guys, when you get this and you understand this part, it helps you to communicate in a super powerful way. And this is why they say, man, it's like you know what I'm thinking. Yeah, exactly. Because I've walked a mile in your shoes. So let me give you a quick example using my ideal customer profile named Ambitious Andy. Okay? Goals. Here's what I have. He's an employee but wants to be an entrepreneur. He wants the freedom to work from home. He wants to make a difference through speaking and writing. He wants to be a thought leader. Ambitious Andy wants to work on his own terms and be his own boss. He wants to do work that makes a difference in the lives of others. And he wants the freedom to do many vacations throughout the year with his wife and kids. That is the goals, or those are the goals that Ambitious Andy has. Now listen to this one, passions. His faith is super important to him. Self-development and time management and launching a business are some of his top passions. His worldview is that money buys time and not just things. He wants to discover his gifts and his calling in life. He wants creative freedom that allows him to express himself through speaking, writing, and coaching. Those are his passions. And then finally, his struggles. I want you to listen very closely to this, okay? And some of you right now that are listening or watching, you're probably thinking, man, Jonathan, you're describing me right now. And that's because my communication is centered in on this Ambitious Andy. Now, just because I've named it a male doesn't mean that I've excluded reaching out to females. I have another customer profile called Writer Wendy. I've got another one called Coach Carol. And then I have a fourth one called Mentor Mike. They're at different ages, and they're both male and female. But listen to the struggles. Andy is challenged with time management because he's busy with kids and sports. He's challenged with clarity on his audience and his message. He's challenged with figuring out how to get traffic to his site and build his list. He's challenged with trying to get his wife on board with his crazy dream. Now, here's some of Andy's pain points. There's not much discretionary time with the work and the family demands. He's not seeing results, and he secretly fears that he isn't good enough. But the other thing he struggles with is he's learning a lot through books, courses, and events, but he's not taking much action. You see, now I have the GPS to be able to powerfully communicate to my audience. And when you walk through this, you'll find, and here's what I found when I first started using this, you start attracting your ideal target audience. They start showing up because you start communicating to them in a powerful way. So again, if you want a copy of this one-page PDF and you want to walk through and design this for yourself, then there's two ways you can do it. First, you can just text the word profile to 44222, or you can go over to the web, put in this address, bloggingyourpassion.com/profile. So listen, I hope this helped you. I hope you have a better insight into how to communicate with your ideal audience. And I hope it gives you a renewed passion for who you're trying to help because you make it personal. And so that's what I got out of it. That's what I hope that you'll get out of it too. The other people that I've mentored, that I've shared this process with, have gotten such clarity from this process, and I know you will as well. Well, listen, that's it for this episode of the Blogging Your Passion Show. If you're here with us live, stay for a little bit for the after show. I'll be answering some live questions. If you're listening on iTunes or the podcast, thank you so much for all your support and your reviews. If you're watching this over on YouTube later, thank you so much for your support. Feel free to ask questions below. Be happy to answer any way that I can. Thanks again. Go out there, blog your passion, and make your difference in other people's lives.